Welcome to everyone who's joining us. I see a couple eyes popping up.
Yeah.
Um, we have a podcast to record, but we're going to start with a question on ignoring in the elevator. And this is straight from the Awesome Etiquette podcast. Here we go. Lizzie Post, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, Lizzie and Dan. My husband and I live in an old 6-story apartment building with one elevator and about 10 to 12 units on each floor. Because my husband is in an electronic wheelchair, we have to use the elevator to ascend and descend. When the doors open, many solo riders are scrolling on phones. We say hi to all elevator occupants, but many phone scrolling soloists look up with annoyance at our greeting, some responding, some not.
Hmm.
Do you think it's better to not greet those engaged by their screens or continue to greet all elevator occupants as we enter, regardless of their occupations?
Martin, thanks so much for the question. And it's a good one, right? Because public spaces, especially very small public spaces, they it's like one of those it's a zone where you want people to be friendly, but you're also all in your own zone. You just happen to be closer together. And I think there's a lot of, do you politely ignore the people around you and just go about your business, which is like a form of politeness. We don't engage every single shopper when we're at the grocery store or the pharmacy. We just go about our business. And so I think there's it's a good question to bring up because this is one of those small spaces where this happens. Dan, I'm curious about your thoughts before I share my own.
Well, it's elevators and greetings and neighbors, and it just sounds like etiquette to me. And I I love the neighborly vibe. I love
Yeah.
the spirit of wanting to say hello and acknowledge the people that live around you. And I want to have that thought and pair it with the thought about sometimes good fences make good neighbors. Sometimes it's good to take your cues from other people.
Yeah.
And big picture, if I'm looking for opportunities to connect, my first greeting is eye contact. So if I'm entering that elevator, my first greeting is just that open visage, that clear eye contact, the smile on my face. And if those things all work and connect, I think there's room for a hello, hi, good morning to any neighbor on the elevator. Absent that eye contact and that level of engagement, I don't know if I would necessarily push it every time. And maybe that's a little New York of me. Maybe there's a version of elevator etiquette that we could take outside New York that's maybe a little more broadly friendly, but that would be my approach to a situation like this.
You surprised me because that's the same approach I had. And from your notes, I thought you were going with more than, no, just keep going with your highs, keep going with your highs. And like you, I like you actually were, not the way I thought that you were thinking or misinterpreted how you were thinking from the notes. I too feel like eye contact is a good test as to whether the hello or the hi, or even just a friendly smile if someone's wearing headphones or earbuds is, I almost want to say necessary or friendly or welcome, that sort of thing. So I do think that sometimes if we force greetings on people in a situation like this, that's where maybe that annoyance might become. Like you could see someone walking in and very pointedly saying hello clearly and directly to each person and having it kind of feel like a social fail, like it was too much of a request for that contact and that exchange in that moment, as opposed to kind of reading the room a bit and recognizing, that person's busy reading. If they look up, I'll make eye contact and do a friendly wave. So I think it's like degree and dosage, you know what I mean, that we're dealing with here. Like you were saying, I don't think it's the cold New Yorker in you, you little Vermonter.
And I have to talk about a reciprocal courtesy here. When we
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
that elevator space, I'm really reminded of that that person who's unavailable all the time and how
Oh,
unneighborly it is to be
right. Because
absorbed in your phone every second of the day. And if you're
yeah,
thinking about that person, that neighbor, that person you might have a relationship to any degree of closeness,
yeah,
but the degree of closeness is going to be determined by how that relationship develops, how engaged you are, what those opportunities are. And if you can just get your phone down just for the elevator ride in the morning, maybe that provides an opportunity for a neighbor to say hi. And all of a
yeah,
sudden, you're developing community and relationships in your building. So, while I want to respect that that person who's on their phone is maybe not available or is giving a signal that they're not available, I also want to remind all of us that that's the signal we give when we're absorbed with our phone.
Exactly.
And if it's just the habit of having it in your hand and in front of your face, maybe look for those opportunities where just letting it rest for a minute would give a neighbor an opportunity. Excuse me,
You
a
okay?
neighbor an opportunity to say hi.
got
Save me,
you,
Lizzie Post. I have a frog in my throat.
got you a little choked up, did it? Cause save the elevator. Hello. No, I agree with you. I think that it's a good thing for us all to remember that this is happening in a building folks live in, as opposed to an office building, which you could also argue is a perfectly nice place to get to know some of the other people on the floor with just friendly greetings. This isn't like share your life story while you make it from floor 1 to floor 15. It's, just easy, friendly greetings that make spaces feel, I think, as Dan said, more welcoming. Sometimes they also can create a more of a sense of safety just because you know the people around you and it doesn't feel like strangers. And I think in a neighborhood building, in a building where you're dealing with those kinds of relationships, that's a really nice thing to actively be a part of. I love that suggestion, cuz. But yeah, with the most part, I just say go with the vibe that you're feeling and use that eye contact as the sort of testing space. If you get the eye contact, a nice friendly hello might be a great way to issue that greeting without feeling like you're giving it to someone who doesn't want it.
Save me from the frog in our throat and take us
Oh,
out.
sure, absolutely. Martin, thank you so much for the question. We certainly hope that your elevator rides are a bit friendlier in the mornings. And we certainly hope that our answer helps. Doing it live, you almost forget the regular things. We really want to thank everybody for watching. If you're checking this out on YouTube, please check out the live version by becoming a community member to our Substack. You can go to emilypost.substack.com and you can check out the whole podcast every Monday on your favorite podcast app. Feel free to send us your questions. Bye, guys. Elizabeth, so good to see you. I love seeing her pop up.
Take care, Lizzie Post. See you in a minute.
Bye, guys.